Tonight on the randomizer, a person I'm now dubbing the most interesting man in fantasy football. It is Canadians' finest, Jakob Sanderson. I've been a fan of his fantasy analysis for a couple of years now, but only recently have I started to peel back the onion to all the complexities of this man. And I will say, you guys have delivered stuffing this wheel full of prompts that are going to get Jakob moving and grooving tonight. This is the randomizer draft. We're going to do an 18-round draft. Every pick, it's not who Jakob wants. It's not his guys. No, every pick will be dictated by randomizer prompts on the wheel. I'm Pete Overzet. Let's do it.
Kyle Pitts, can you do something for me? Can you score a couple of touchdowns for me?
Green was the color of the grass where I used to read at Centennial Park.
We're going tight end in the early round.
What?
Oh!
We had to resize.
Mom, okay, don't say anything weird.
Welcome to the randomizer. Pete, take it away.
All right. We are here. Randomizer Thursday nights, hot best ball summer. One of my favorites, Jakob Sanderson, making your debut. Are you scared? Are you nervous? Are you excited? All of the above?
I'm pumped, man. This is like truly, if I was to assemble a Mount Rushmore of shows to appear on, I can't imagine assembling such a sculpture of stone without the randomizer draft. This is a true bucket list event for me.
What's on the Mount Rushmore? ADP chasing, ship chasing, randomizer, and best ball breakfast?
That's certainly you're getting it covered. Yeah.
No, beautiful. By the way, yeah, Jakob was on ADP chasing this week. That was an awesome episode. Jakob and we've been on ship chasing a couple times. I feel like we haven't overlapped other times on there. We did do a best ball after dark.
Yeah.
Last year around this time, I got to know you a little bit better. We were talking some indie rock. But tonight, Jakob, this is really where our friendship is going to get forged in the fire of the randomizer draft.
Sounds good. Excited to see what happens.
So what is you probably saw some of the prompts coming in your mentions this week. The randomizer team, we got a full writing staff these days. They did some sleuthing. You have like a treasure trove of weird shit on the internet, Jakob. You want to explain yourself before we get going here?
Man, I'm concerned for what exactly you found or didn't. I would say the two interesting facts about me that you'd find on the internet is that one, I appeared on a Canadian game show, which that ended up making the rounds. And I performed moderately above expectations, but certainly not first place. And then I don't know, what else did you find here? I don't know how much I should give away.
I mean, you're like protesting outside of a college, wearing your sandwich boards. I mean, you've lived. How old are you?
So I'm 27. I'm assuming that these protests are I did 2 years. I was the student union president at the University of Manitoba. And that's where a lot of, I imagine, the sandwich board protesting is coming from out there on Google Images. Yeah, I don't know. We put down the megaphone. We went to law school and we picked up a wheel. This is how the last few years have gone since then.
And there's other lore. So there's like deep Jakob lore, which is this stuff that they, the internet sleuths found. And then there's also like ship chasing lore because you were on, what was the show? Was that the Thanksgiving show where you doxed yourself?
Yeah, I think it was Thanksgiving last year. Where I can't even remember how it came up, but at some point, I think people were wondering, it's always light out when I do these evening podcasts. People are like, why is it light out? It's because I'm West Coast. And then it got like over specified. Like there were coordinates. It was like, are you on this street? Like, are you a 3-minute walk from Stanley Park? Are you a 5-minute walk from Stanley Park? I think we were doing Google Earth. It was concerning. It was concerning from a privacy standpoint.
Yeah, this is the problem, Jakob, when you're transparent and you're a talker, is that people can goad you into just fully doxing where you live on planet Earth.
Yeah, that's okay. If they try to find me, there's no guarantee they'll fly to the right city. So at least we have Canadian airports
We'll get to that as well. So this is what's going to happen. We're going to do a randomizer draft. I'm hopping in an underdog 12 person. It's a $3 league. A lot of times like clips of this show and various randomizer shows get posted on the internet. And every week there's like, what contest is this in? Why did someone take Tommy Hudson in the 3rd round? I was like, well, actually someone did do that in a normal draft, but this is a self-contained league. Everyone don't get your panties in a bunch. We're not ruining the contest integrity of Best Ball Mania to do this. I always give the peeps in the Discord the first crack. Looks like we need 2 people left if you guys want to soak up this sweet, sweet EV. Jakob, do you know that in a $3 12-person draft, you can win up to 20 US American dollars? How much is that in CAD?
That's got to be a lot more. We've got to be cooking in like the 26, 27 range in fine Canadian dollars.
That's incredible. Because you're in Vancouver, right?
I am. That's correct.
So you're up there like with our guy John Warner.
Yeah.
You do have it in but in other provinces, right? Like Toronto, they can't do underdog, right?
I think that's true. Yeah. Ontario is the only one that I'm aware of where there's no underdog allowed. I think the rest of our fine provinces and territories were good. Certainly in BC. I mean, I would consider you'd have to say that Vancouver is like the capital of Canadian best ball content, right? Like between me and John, I feel like we have this covered.
Yes. And we are off to the races because we did 104. Right off to start with a Manitoba reference. Here's the prompt. Manitoba export. Jakob has unlimited guesses before the next pick to name all 5 of Manitoba's top agricultural exports in 2023 or draft a corn-fed player more than 235 pounds. Are you up for this challenge, Jakob?
I have no idea, but we're going to try.
Okay.
Agricultural exports. Okay.
Yeah. So come on, what do you got?
Like, can we do meats? Like pork has got to be up there if we're allowing meats.
I should probably pull up my cheat sheet here first. I have a link in my Google sheet to gov.mb California, a PDF. Oh my God, what the fuck am I looking at right now? Okay, start talking.
Okay, I like pork. I like wheat. I like canola. How are we so far?
Okay.
I like, what else am I feeling here? I mean, maybe beef. That could be in there.
What am I looking at right now?
Let's see. We got any help in the chat here? What are some good agricultural? We could do potatoes, maybe onions. I could see onions in the mix. What else have we got here?
I'm just so tilted because I don't even know how I'm supposed to parse like what you said. So we have oil seeds, we have grains and meat.
Canola's got to be oil seeds. I'm good with oil seeds and canola. I think wheat. That's got to be in grain products. I said pork and beef. That gets our meat products. That's 3.
Okay.
Yeah. We got. I don't know. Apparently they want soy. I said potatoes. That was 4.
Jakob, say protein isolates.
Protein isolates. We're big into protein isolates up in Manitoba. Yeah. I mean, it used to be the bison before, the colonizers came in and overhunted it. That used to be our big go-to.
Who do you want? Yeah, the chat saying you got it.
I mean, look, number 1 on my ranks, number 1 on my heart, Justin Jefferson. Let's do this. Let's get his protein isolates.
Oh, this is what happens in a randomizer draft. CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown. Is this because on ship chasing I said I was fading him today and you're making a point to take him at 102? Everyone's out here following in Davis's footsteps, getting ideological.
I was so focused on the protein isolates that I didn't even realize it felt like there were too many players on the board that should have been available at the 104. It was the AJ Brown.
The reason I love this prompt, and again, I normally told Jakob before the show, I've got a lot going on these days. I'm flying by the seat of my pants. I didn't get to do a super close vetting of all of the prompts, so I hadn't clicked this link. But this also seems like something you would know. It seems like you would say something like protein isolates in your day-to-day life.
I mean, I don't. But I guess that's because I moved. I didn't know enough about protein isolates. I had to fly over to BC where we're more focused on salmon and a little bit less focused on the piggies. And that's the deal, I suppose.
So let them.
I can tell you that our provincial flower is the crocus. That's
what the fuck's a fun fact, Jakob?
Oh, it's a great flower. It's a prairie flower.
Okay, like a columbine.
It could be. I don't know what to call them.
That's the Colorado flower. It's also a prairie flower.
There we go.
For people who don't know, Jakob, you are, I put this in the promo. I said, you're the most aggressively Canadian person I know. You know, even like John, I feel like keeps his Canadian stuff to references on the show, but I'll just be going about my day and I'll have to see you talking about fucking butter tarts or wedding socials. Like, you are aggressively Canadian. What is up with that?
Yeah. Wedding social is not even just Canadian. That's specifically Manitoba. Like I was telling everybody at work this week, I was like, oh, I won't be in the office Friday. I'm flying back for a wedding social. No one even knew what that meant. Wedding social is the best. Okay, why don't you tell me what it is then?
No, I mean, it's something where it's like the people who are getting married are so poor that they have to have a fundraiser where people give them money.
or it's because everybody's just so fun that they want to celebrate together. But yeah, that is the idea. You're going to get married. So actually, funny enough, the guy who's getting married is, even before we launched, my whole fantasy podcasting started with a podcast just about our own dynasty league. And it was me and this guy, Austin, who I've known since first year undergrad. I set him up with his current girlfriend. They're now getting married. They're having a wedding social tomorrow. So shout out to Austin, where we all buy tickets. We go, we party, we pay for their wedding. And then I'm officiating the wedding in September.
What? You're officiating? Did you have to go and get your officiant license, or is this in Canada?
Yeah, there's a form. No rules. There's a form that you have to fill out. So, we filled out the form. It's got the same little government of Manitoba imagery that now everybody's been very acquainted with, that beautiful buffalo.
And are you going to write? How much do you have to write for this?
I'm not sure. I'll have to figure that out closer too. But I imagine I have to say like a couple of kind words and something about lawfully wives.
This is the other prompt I didn't read close enough. And of course, it's the second one that comes up. Fiduciary responsibility. God. Jakob phones an industry friend to sit jury with Pete. Jakob gives closing arguments for why Lovie Smith should be acquitted of charges of defrauding fantasy investors in breach of fiduciary responsibility associated with his leadership of the 2022 Houston Texans. If the jury acquits, draft whoever. If they are hung or vote guilty on both charges, draft a Smith.
All right.
What are we doing?
Available here.
Who are you calling?
I'm calling Gretsch. Let's see if he picks up.
Okay, perfect.
It's probably like some band recital or something to do with the flute.
Yeah, what is it? It's 5:12 there on
5:12.
So are you preparing in your head the arguments for why Lovie Smith should be acquitted of charges?
Hey, Ben, welcome to the randomizer. You're on a jury here, and I have to make an impassioned case to you in the next minute or two, okay? Yeah, you're on a jury with Pete. And Lovie Smith has been brought on trial from the chat here in the randomizer for defrauding fantasy investors in breach of his fiduciary responsibilities in association with his leadership of the 2022 Houston Texans. And my client is absolutely not guilty of these charges. Mr. Smith fought to the death to try and make sure that he could win every game to install a culture. He brought that team down the field against the Indianapolis Colts, not just to win a game, not just to secure the greatest quarterback in the history of the Houston Texans and CJ Stroud at second overall, but to instill a culture that tanking does not equal winning. That every day you look, a grown man looks another grown man in the face and says, we want this more than you, and we will not abide by any spreadsheets or any probabilities of tanking culture. We're going to win. And that is, in fact, why the Houston Texans made the turnaround that they did. Perhaps if my Colts had won that game, maybe they win the division the next year. He set the groundwork. He should be a free man, roaming the streets, doing whatever he pleases. We rest our case, Your Honors.
I can't hear Gretsch right now, but the glove fits.
I'm going to push him right into the microphone here.
Gretsch, I'm acquitting him. The glove fits. What did Gretsch say, Jakob?
He said it was on par with A Few Good Men, and that he could not handle the truth.
Okay, who do you want? You're on the clock.
Oh, we're on the clock. Nico, we got to stay with the Texans.
Yeah. Stick with the brand. I mean, yes, if you're going to nail that, that was an impassioned case. It also feels fitting because Jakob was one of the highest people on Nico Collins last year before the breakout. I should know this, but how do you have the Texans ranked, the top 3 wide receivers in your ADP agnostic ranks?
Oh man, Nico won, and I think I probably have Diggs and Dell like back to back. Honestly, I should know this. I probably have Diggs ahead just like because he goes ahead. Yeah, I do. I have Nico Diggs then Dell.
All right, next prompt for our third round pick. Touch some grass. Jakob must share a picture he or a friend has taken while in Stanley Park or another nature location around Van City and share the story of what they did that day. Otherwise, draft a player with a green jersey. Can you procure a photo on your phone here quickly?
I think you can. Specifically in Van City. All right.
Stanley Park preferably or another location, nature location around Van City.
All right. Let's do this here. You know what? This is going to be an Instagram archive situation, I'm thinking.
Oh. Instagram archive. That's intriguing.
Let's go here. Man. Come on. How much time do we got? Not much.
You're doing good. You're doing good. We got like 4 picks until we're up. So talk us through.
All right. Stanley Park, man. I mean, the best thing to do if you're doing the Stanley Park situation, you always want to be rocking the seawall. Let's see. I got to scramble. Okay, here we go. Where are we getting this? Where's my heron guy here? I have a heron saved up here somewhere. There we go.
Okay, let's see it.
This is my friend, Henry the Heron. He hangs out in Stanley Park. He's always on this side. There's one on the other side of the seawall. Is named Harriet, that I've named. And you just head around. It's about a 2-hour walk. It's perfect timing for 2 best ball teams. You just stroll around, you enjoy the sights and the sounds. You go for a nice little cold plunge down there over on 3rd Beach if you want through the winter. It's a great time. Love Stanley Park. We got our photo, we got our heron. I think we're picking whoever we want, right?
You're on the clock.
A good team. This is like epically
you want to
good,
piss yellow or you want to take a little detour for the Chiron fall?
Oh, we're pissing here. So neighbors I have ranked highest, but we go for the stack here. No, it's just a $3 league. We don't need to do all that correlation. We're good. I'll take neighbors. Here.
I did kind of want to see someone feel so cocky and confident that they were going to nail every prompt that they could actually locate CJ Stroud at a value to complete a double stack in a randomizer draft.
that would be difficult.
I am allowed as the host to ask some follow-up questions. You've named a heron.
Sure.
How do you know it's the same one?
So there's always one. There's like one spot where, so Stanley Park is like, let's say it's like this. As you walk, here's the Lionsgate Bridge. It's like down around here, which is a big icon. There's one spot right when you start to see the Lionsgate Bridge. There's like a few rocks, and there's a heron that's always hanging out around there. Yeah. So see that gray thing there? So like we got the big highway that runs through it.
Yep.
And then we have that gray dot, kind of like central to it, like just down a little to the right, to the right, up. Yeah, right around there. We've got a good heron spot in around there. That's where Henry lives. And then there's another one that you'll see sometimes in that little pond. Yeah, that's right around where.
Oh, is this the spot of the photo?
That's the spot. Yeah.
Dude, did you ask this heron if you were allowed to dox his location like this?
Yeah, it's true. The Heron Privacy Act might have been violated here.
Holy shit, dude. This park, I know we've already done this bit on Chip Chasing. This park has a 4.8 review. The amount of restaurants I look for, and I just pray that they clear a 4.3, and you're getting a 4.8 here on this park. This thing sounds legit.
National Park, man. It's gorgeous.
Man, I need to get up there. Hang on. It blows my... Have you and John never met up? Are you guys secretly rivals?
No, we've met up. And we're gonna be at the live Scott Fishbowl draft in a month in Vancouver as well.
Okay. It would have been like really heartbreaking to me if I found out that like you and John like secretly hated each other and were like mortal enemies, and I'm like just having to navigate that dynamic.
I do. The one thing that I'm surprised by is like, because John always posts the GMs with just like random photos of Vancouver where he's just clearly like walking around drafting best ball teams. And I don't post the photos as often, but I also just walk around Vancouver drafting best ball teams. And so my dream is just one day, like we'll just be walking down the same like path and just like bump into each other because we're both staring at our phones and be like, oh man, you ruined my, oh, hey John, like what's up?
Or it would be so better if you guys go by and you're both clearly doing drafts and you just kind of give a head nod and don't acknowledge anything. Just keep fucking going.
It'd be even better. Imagine if we were in the same draft and you're just watching this guy like, oh, I see Roto run right in front of me. Oh, he's literally right in front of me.
I feel like what I need to do, I need to fly out, visit Gretsch. We hop in the car and we road trip up there. That sounds like a good time.
Great. That would be truly fantastic.
All right. We got some
God.
more courtroom
courtroom
drama. Chat court. Give a closing argument to the chat court in defense of his client, Jake Ferguson.
Oh, no. My client's Jake Ferguson?
He is.
Kind of laying or Pat Corain here.
Yeah, who is accused of being Pat Corain is just like, I don't know, it's fine. Who is accused of being untalented, unimpressive, and unsustainable. If unable to convince a jury of his innocence, and the defendant is found guilty, draft Luke Schoonmaker.
All right,
you must defend him.
Look, some of these spreadsheet socialist Substack writers are talking about things like TPRR or YPRR. You know what I don't care about? The PRR. Because you know how many routes there's going to be in Dallas? A lot of fucking routes, all right? And this guy's going to be running them because he puts his head down and he's blocking and he's staying on the field. You want to talk about 98% snap rate, buddy? Get ready to learn 98% snap rate, buddy, with Jake Ferguson. This guy's going to be running down the seam. Dak Prescott's looking back. And what does Dak Prescott love to do more than anything? He loves to just throw a somewhat dangerous path to put his tight end in immediate need of a personal injury lawyer 17 yards down the field, and this guy's going to snag it at a slightly below average rate. But that's perfectly fine because that counts. And also, don't you know, buddy? It's all about weekly upside, bro. And he got 3 touchdowns in a playoff game, and playoff games count.
Objection, Your Honor. Jalen Tolbert. Let's see the chat. Do we have a verdict? Guilty. Motherfucking alpha innocent. Definitely guilty here. Touchdown savant. Hey, hung jury. What do we got? You good? Guilty. Circumstantial. Not guilty.
Oh, we got a hung jury here.
He's garbage, but volume is not valid. Guilty.
Guilty. Some people have said that.
You know what? Let's see here. We got a hung. We got a guilty. Do I need to put Luke Schoonmaker in the queue here before I tab these? Oh, right, man.
To the unconvinced, here's what you're failing to realize. Here's what the stat sheet can't measure. It can't measure heart. You don't want to talk about heart. You want to talk about who showed up in the playoffs. Not Dak. Not CeeDee Lamb. Certainly not Tony Pollard. The only member of the Cowboys who went out onto the field and proved his worth against the Green Bay Packers was Jake Ferguson. He did everything he could to lead them to victory, and they failed him. And he spent all offseason grinding to get better and better and better until week 1 to prove his chance, to prove the doubters, the Packers, the people fading him in round 8, all of them wrong. It's Ferg season. You can't deny Big Ferg any longer.
Jakob, do you know in football when they say like, or in any sports where they say the ref did a makeup call? I've been accused in recent episodes of the randomizer of getting soft and allowing too many prompts to get through in teams, drafters building super teams. You just were on the wrong side of a makeup call. You got drafted Luke Schoonmaker. I needed to show that I rule this show with an iron fist, and he was ruled guilty. I'm sorry, Jake Ferguson's going to jail, bud.
I did the best I could for you, Ferguson.
You did. You tried. But knowing that Jake Ferguson went to jail and drafting Luke Schoonmaker, who I'm sure you've had dreams about being leverage on him, feels like a fitting conclusion.
Only on DraftKings. I mean, you got the 20 rounds.
20 rounds, dude, PPR. All right. Are you still Canada's smartest person? In the spirit of your audition tape for this game show, narrate a few objects in your current space that prove that you are the smartest person in Canada. Real quick, I do need to show a clip so people know what we're referencing.
My name is Jakob Sanderson. How come Jerry Rice is auditioning to be Canada's smartest person? 441 digits to be exact. That's how many digits in the groove tube that I once had to memorize for a school memory contest. I heard Jakob Sanderson was on the speed dial with Bill Gates and Kanye West. Take them on the stage, I got a snowy step, someone down the lane, I down.
All right, Jakob, this is the prompt. You need to prove to us. Show us some objects in your house. Narrate why you are the smartest person in Canada still.
All right. Right here, we got my Elevate UMSU mug here. This was the name of my student union slate where we earned the trust of 29,000 Bisons to provide leadership for the students of the University of Manitoba. Right here, we've got a slightly out of date criminal code. You know why it's slightly out of date? Because the other ones were more expensive. And I knew that I was smart enough to understand the substance of the criminal code and to save a little bit of money on the older one. Here, we've got ourselves the Property Law Reader, 4th edition. You know how expensive rent is in Vancouver? You absolutely need to make sure that you are up to date on all of the current property law trends. And then right here, I've got myself the Himalayan Crystal because I'm drafting a lot of Garrett Wilson this year. And if I want to understand how the Jets offense is going to work, I need to try and get inside the mind of the crystal loving, I assume, Aaron Rodgers. So that's what we got here right on the desk.
All right. I bought that one. You are on the clock. You get to pick whoever you want. I am convinced you're the smartest person in Canada because the only other Canadian I know is John Warner. So you cleared that bar. Love you, John.
Oh, Mark Andrews.
Who do you want?
Mark Andrews. Let's do it.
Mark Andrews. So let the people know, give us the background of that audition tape. What the hell was going on with that?
You know, well, first of all, it was shot by my mom on a very low quality camcorder. You know, we did not have StreamYard back then in the day. And honestly, like, I'm not really sure. I knew I wanted to apply because they were showing commercials for it on the CBC, which is the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, of course, during the NHL playoffs that year. And I was like, sure, like I'll freaking apply for this show. Why not? And I filled the application package. Like, you need to do a video. And I'm just like, what's the most absurd video that I can do to get cast on this thing and kind of stand out? And so, like, I had done a few like vaguely smart things, like the memory contest in school, whatever. I had like a couple yearbook quotes. I was like, okay, I'll pull that. And then I was like, I need to do something that's a little bit performative. And I have no idea why, but just like that particular year of my life, even that month of my life, I was just obsessed with like being able to perfectly rap Informer. I have no idea why. But I was like, I'll just do that because that would be cool. And it's not cool. And it's unfortunately still on the internet. But yeah, I mean, that song comes on like maybe 1 out of every 20 visits to the club, and I lose my fucking mind. I could still absolutely nail that song. So
I wish people could have seen. So only I was able to see Jakob's video feed as the clip was playing. And Jakob was like, I can't believe this is being shown. I'm incredibly embarrassed. But then also I kind of love this, all wrapped into one emotion.
That's probably pretty accurate. Yeah.
Incredible stuff. Yeah. My dad like has so many of my like home videos on VHS, and he's been doing kind of like over the years since he's been retired, like digitizing them. And occasionally it's like 1 out of 5. I'm like, oh, that was funny to see. And then the other 4 are just like super cringe. And I'm like, I hope this never sees the light of day.
Yeah.
Yes. Chasing karaoke going to go hard this year. We need to get that rolling.
There's probably nothing on this earth that I love more than karaoke, even drafting Best Ball Mania teams.
So when you were showing like the law books and stuff, is it hard like during drafting season for you to focus and be like, I need to read this really like dense, heavy, boring text when I would rather just be drafting fantasy football teams?
Yeah, I mean, during law school it was fine because I'm a crammer by nature, so I could just sort of go to class and not worry about much else except for fantasy stuff. And then it would just be like the few weeks before exams that just to tune everything out. Now, I mean, I just like work on a day-to-day basis. So it's a little bit more difficult for sure. But, you know, I work at a boutique. It's pretty reasonable. We'll have weeks, like 2 weeks ago, I was in a hearing and worked an absurd amount of hours. Couldn't do any drafting, couldn't do any fantasy writing. But that's part of the Substack deal too, right? Like previous to this, when I was just on contract, like I had to fire out an article on a deadline every week. There'd be no chance I could do that now, but now it's a little more like I get to write when I have the chance. And sometimes when I have the chance is like 11 p.m. on a Saturday or something if I'm not going out. But yeah, it's fun. I mean, the thing is like I've always enjoyed writing. And if the only writing I do is like strictly work writing, then I think I would like it less. So to do the fantasy stuff kind of keeps the joy of it alive a little bit.
One of my good friends from home is a lawyer / creative. And I would say you guys are a similar breed, and you guys are always like monsters in that, like, this friend of mine, he like listens to every new record, watches every new movie, reads every new book. And I'm like, how the fuck do you have time for that when you're doing all this stuff? But you guys are a different breed. You know, I consider myself on top of a lot of stuff, and then you guys just take it to the next level. So kudos to how you lawyers juggle all of this. But you're not going to be a lawyer for this prompt, Jakob. You are going to be an artist, because this prompt is called Van Gogh. For the next pick, Jakob puts himself on mute. Just wait until we're on the clock. And he's going to draw his next pick for Pete to draft. Draw Paris Campbell like one of those French girls, Jakob. Pete can ask questions, but Jakob can only respond by sketch or gesture. Why don't you get drawing here, because we are going to be up in a few. I will show you the board here. The risk, Jakob, is you start drawing someone who gets sniped in the next 3 picks.
Okay.
I will also point out that Casey has started his draft.
Can I start drawing already?
Start drawing. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to mute you. I'm muting you. You're drawing. Oh my God. All right. So I do know Jakob. So I'm going to talk it out here as KZ takes his 6th running back, I presume. So we're at a 0-0-3-2. Jakob had earlier mentioned that he would perhaps like to set up a stack with Nico Collins. George Kittle comes off the board. Jacob Cowing coming off the board before George Kittle. I think Jacob Cowing had some nice production at Arizona. I don't know if I'm taking him over George Kittle. We'll see what Steampunk Mario does here. Jacob has a very pensive look as he scratches off another one of his skills here. Still putting the finishing touches as we're about to be on the clock. We are on the clock. Jacob is still muted. All right, we're on the clock. Let me see this, Jacob. Let me see this. Okay, what am I looking at? Okay, that's a cross. It's a cross and a cactus. Is that a cross? It's Jesus, CJ Stroud, Joe Mixon. I can't see anything. Jacob's going to hate who I just auto-picked for him. That's a dick? What is that? Hang on, I'm unmuting you. What did you just draw a dick?
No, I was trying to draw the wind. I was trying to draw God, like the cross.
Yeah.
And then I was trying to draw the wind for Godwin.
God. Wow. So there wasn't a punishment for this one, and when I didn't know who to take, I put Jake Ferguson in the queue.
Well, that's good, man. We got Schoonmacher. We had to get out of handcuff.
I didn't want to get spoiled by the chat. Did anyone guess Chris Godwin here?
At first, I tried to draw the Cristo Redentor, and then I was trying to do like the Adam Levitan bit, and then it just looked like a penis. So then I crossed out the penis, and I was trying to draw the wind, but I didn't have any other cue cards in front of me.
Put the photo of the wind up again here. I need to look at this.
Oh man. Okay, so this was like okay. This was the attempt at the wind, which isn't very good. But then this was my initial praying hands, which just looks like a penis. Like there's no other way around it.
Yes, everything you did was so phallic. Oh man.
Oh man.
See, I tried to take a shortcut because I was like, I think he's gonna go CJ Stroud, get that quarterback there, and then I'm sitting here looking at this cross, and I'm like, geez, what the hell? All right, we need to spin. I'm getting sloppy here. We only have short amount of time on the turn.
Tyler just said it was a girthy wind.
It was a very girthy wind. Okay. Jacob tells the story of the Madden franchise on screen during his Canada's Smartest Person audition tape, or drafts a quarterback too.
Okay, this is like, this is like pretty autistic, but when I was like 5 years old, my dream job was to be a sportscaster. And so I made up all of these fake leagues. And then I would do every weekend, I would do a fake highlight show of me doing the sports highlight show telecast, like the Sports Center of all my fake leagues on the Sanderson Sports Network. And so that team, I don't know why, I never put any of the teams in Winnipeg. I put them on Selkirk, which is like a suburb of Winnipeg. And so this team here is the Selkirk Army, I'm pretty sure, quarterbacked by Timothy Sanders. I imagine this was probably either going either to James Andrews or to Eric Tulmick, the two big wide receivers for that team. And they would play against several other teams. I drew all the logos. I kept all the scores on a whiteboard. And then I would do this show. And I'd be like, and I would act out all the highlights. It was great. And then I made all the uniforms. Oh, this looks like it's the Army versus the Hamilton Stallions. Yeah, there we go. That's the blue and white. So that's Selkirk Army versus Hamilton Stallions. Stallions just scored a touchdown there. And yeah, that would have been a big rivalry game for them up in the North Division. There were 16 teams. We do the show every week, kept all the stats. It was awesome. Then I uploaded.
I want to hear more. I'm going to let you pick who you want.
Okay.
5 seconds.
All right. Give me Lad. Give me Lad McConkey.
All right. Lad McConkey, even after he was on Ben Gretch's fade list. Good luck with that combo after the show. Yeah. So yeah, what was going? I watched this and I was more confused than I was anything. Why did the Madden franchise play into you proving you were the smartest person in Canada?
I just thought it was an interesting tidbit about like me being a little. I thought it'd be a weird fun fact to know about somebody on a game show, which was that I like designed all these uniforms. I designed all these fake teams. I then designed all the uniforms into Madden and then uploaded a creative player full roster for all 16 of these teams. And then I would simulate the games and do this fake Sports Center. So that was that.
If you auditioned for this same show today, do you think you would send them your post about building the bear case for Jake Ferguson to prove that you were the smartest person in Canada?
I think that the last thing that game show casting wants are 6,000 word Substack articles about Cowboys tight ends. I think I would not be cast. But we'll
Incredible.
see. I told myself that after I got called to the bar that I would audition for every remaining season of Survivor. So we'll see what they want. Maybe they want Jake Ferguson articles.
I don't know. I don't know why you having one subscriber on this channel is so funny to me.
Yeah, because I've never posted any fantasy content to that channel. Like I just doubled my subscriptions. 100%. I was my other subscriber.
I always like to promote my guests' YouTube channels in the chat. I just dropped Jakob Sanderson's YouTube in the chat. There you go.
I mean, all my fantasy stuff has only ever either been on what used to be Full Tilt, and now it's on Dynasty Points. So like, I've never had like a Jakob YouTube channel. It's always been a company man.
Hey, it's very popular these days. Everybody's firing up their YouTube channels. I'm sure you've been taking notes about how Chess Liam does his thumbnails. You just, doubled your subscriber base. I see big things in your future.
Yeah, I mean, now that Ben's converted to the full YouTube game, we'll see. Maybe it's all out there for everybody. 2 subscribers, they're gonna get the good stuff.
Yes, you got to be careful though, because Gretch has cornered the market on slow draft streaming.
That is true.
Yeah,
that is hilarious. Yeah.
Yes. All right. I'm about to spin here as we head into the 8th round. This is Jakob's team so far. 0 quarterback, 0 running back. He's got 4 wide receivers: Justin Jefferson, Nico Collins, Malik Neighbors, Lad McConkey. He has Mark Andrews. And then the really kind of interesting decisions was pairing Luke Schoonmaker with Jake Ferguson. And he did take Luke Schoonmaker 20 picks ahead of Jake Ferguson as well.
Well, as it should be,
Bully tight end. You said you're pretty fond of that this year?
Yeah. This isn't quite how I envisioned it, but it's directionally accurate.
All right, here we go. Doxed. Jakob must dox a rookie by telling Pete stats about the player without mentioning the schools he attended. Draft that player if successful. If unsuccessful, draft a future private investigator. This is going to be hard because I feel like I'm not going to know these stats. But
so I can tell you anything about a player except where they went to college.
But it has to be like stats driven by telling Pete stats about the player.
Right. So we're talking like air yards per route run.
Yeah, like help me build a picture of how do they win on the football field, Jakob.
Okay. All right, but show me the cue here, and then
Yes.
maybe do a little scroll. Let's get a player in mind here.
Yeah, so it does have.
We're gonna scroll the F down so they don't get stolen.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I think I have somebody in mind here.
Okay.
All right. Let's do.
I'm not going to look at the chat.
Okay. This player ran 285 routes last year.
Okay.
And earned a 2.04 yards per route run. Notably,
lad.
204 is the. Does it have to be a rookie?
Yes.
Oh, all right.
Do you want me to scroll down again?
No, that's all good. We'll get one. All right, 1 second here. Let me pull this up.
Yeah, we're going to be at pick 93.
Okay. All right.
You got some time.
We're hustling. All right, we're gonna be good here.
Okay.
Let's do. All right, this player. This player started 0.202 targets per route run as a freshman, but only 1.66 yards per route run that year. Second year, 0.175 targets per route run. This is his most recent year. 0.175 targets per route run, 1.72 yards per route run. Had the highest ADOT of full-time wide receivers on that team. We got anything so far? Got any guesses here?
I actually think I do. Can you give me one more stat?
Yeah. All right. Let's pull up college reference. All right. This player's never averaged less than 14.7 yards per reception any year in college.
Is it A.D. Mitchell?
You got it. You nailed it.
Okay. I will say I feel like I cheated a little bit in that I know you're a big Colts homer and that you love A.D. and Josh Downs, but I was looking at these rookies and it was like Jonathan Brooks was the other top rookie there. And then I'm scrolling down. I see A.D. I was wondering, like, is he going to go down to the Polk, Pearsall, Leggett tier? He didn't. We were on the same wavelength there.
We got it. We're locked in.
If the market had A.D. Mitchell and Josh Downs right next to each other, same ADP, who are you taking?
Man, honestly, I think I would distribute them pretty evenly, but like one team to save the universe, as Davis would say.
Yeah, the aliens are coming.
Yeah, I think I might take AD just because of the format fit. Like I just, if he hits, he's going to hit as a downfield player, and he's going to be having a big routes advantage over downs. So I think that's probably the pick. But
the aliens are laughing because the aliens know Alec Pierce is running ahead of him at minicamp right now. All right, next prop, Pop-Tart quiz. Jakob retrieves a tart or other baked good before the next pick, or drafts a Cleveland brownie. Bring a fucking tart here, or you're taking Deshaun Watson, brother.
I'm not baked good. I do.
God, I mean, what kind of weird shit is this dude going to bring out? Tell me what I'm looking at here?
So I have this lovely bakery. It's a Vancouver chain, Brecca Bakery, and they had this Dutch apple tort. This was a couple days ago. I picked this up.
Are you saying tart or do you pronounce it tort?
No, this is a tort. This is not a tart. This is a tort.
Okay.
It's a Dutch apple tort. This is the only baked good we have here. What we got here on this top layer is we've got apple. And then we have a little bit of, apple sauce, so to speak. And then here we have a nice little line of custard. And that adds a nice little element to this. And then look at this beautiful basket weaving top here. Only the finest folks over at Brecca Bakery out here in Vancouver.
That honestly does look so good, Jakob. I'm impressed as like a bachelor that you're out here just like swinging by the bakery to get a Dutch fucking tort, dude. Congratulations for being so cultured. All right, you are going to get to pick who you want. You have a
Dutch apple tort law. That was really up my alley on the fun streets. Okay. I suppose we should start to address the quarterback or the running back position.
How you feel about unstacked Joe Burrow?
Partners for Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
I think this is Jalen Warren time. I think it's Jalen Warren.
How are you not taking Dak with your double tight ends?
Look, the thing is, you got to push it, man. If you can't just reach for the Dak Schoonmaker Ferguson stack. You want to make sure you have the best value Dak Schoonmaker Ferguson stack. Haven't you even read the Best Ball Manifesto?
Dude, Jacob, if I wanted to draft Jalen Warren and Jake fucking Ferguson, I would have had Karain on. I mean, what the fuck is going on? Oh, man. All right, we get Jalen Warren. You did get sniped on Brock Bowers by 1 pick. You could have gone quad tight end.
I mean, that was the key to the draft. It was really, you got to talk about flipping the build, right? So what if instead of 6 running backs, 2 tight ends, 6 tight ends, 2 running backs? That's flipping the build.
That's right. I mean, you see it you got to do crazy shit to get people to notice you in the best ball space these days. You do triple elite QB. Why has someone not tried quadruple bully handcuff tight end strategy? It's the new meta.
Sure. You just draft Ferguson, Schoonmaker, Andrews, Likely, Bowers, Mayer, and then like 5 Colts tight ends.
Yeah. And the thing that's beautiful about that is you get, Ferguson, Andrews, Bowers carry you the first half of the season. And then when they get injured, you're kind of like now getting all these teams to the playoffs, and they're all going to have zeros. And then you're going to have their backups thrust into starting roles that win you this 12-person $3 contest. How do you feel about your team through 9 rounds? You're halfway done through the randomizer gauntlet, and doesn't it feel like you've lived a lifetime?
I mean, honestly, compared to randomizer drafts I've watched, I feel like this is not the worst team.
It honestly isn't.
The worst thing we did with the Schoonmaker pick was a bit of an issue. But otherwise, I think we've been rolling here.
We're
right where we want to be. We have this draft in the palm of our hand.
And honestly, the Schoonmaker thing could have gone either way. I made a tough call to kind of earn my audience's trust back by making a tough decision there. I thought you made a compelling case if it was just me, ultimately.
So you're saying it's like a situation where, like, people were a little upset about the Trump verdict, but then you get Hunter Biden back, and then everybody understands it's okay.
I tossed them some Hunter Biden fresh meat to distract them. Exposure blanket. Grab a blanket and pull up your exposures and talk about how cozy one of your 4% guys makes you feel. Grab a fucking blanket, Jacob.
All right. I'm checking my exposures here. I got to see who I got to pick the blanket to the player. So I got to check the exposure first to make sure I have a blanket to match. Yeah,
because you were making fun of Sam for wanting a player at 4%. Do you have anyone at 4%, or do you just have zeros and 24s?
Oh, I do. I have someone at 4%. And this is a good 4% exposure blanket player. All right, so here we go. Oh man, this is comfy. This is living right here. So I got myself my 4% Cooper Cup. Okay. And here's how this blanket is multi-purpose. Number 1, when I'm sleeping at night and I'm thinking about, man, how do I feel about drafting this like pretty old dude off a bunch of hamstring injuries? You just do this. And then if you're thinking, how do I feel about fading one of the guys with the highest ceilings in fantasy football? You're nice and cozy. And sometimes you see Cooper out on the field and you might have tweaked something. Here's what you do. You just take the blanket, you wrap it right around that hamstring, and all of a sudden, you're fucking healed, baby. You're good. You got your exposure blanket. Multi-purpose.
Incredible. So you are, just admit it, you're soft fading Cooper Cup.
I'm soft tissue fading Cooper Cup.
How much Puka do you have?
I think also 4%. Actually, they're side by side. I thought I had a better bet on Cooper Cup.
So what do you have? 28% Colby Parkinson? How are you playing this, buddy?
I'm a little out on the Rams. I feel like maybe this is just too much of a vibes-based take, but feels like we ping-pong back and forth where every year the Rams are kind of like the underrated, what if they pay off team? And then they're like the very priced up team that's pretty fragile still because of Stafford and his age and injury history and Cops. And then they fail. And then the next year we buy back in on the Rams. So I don't know. I was very in on them last year. Not as much so this year. It definitely could be a mistake. I think I'm most open to Puka. I just I don't know. Tough for me to click him over Garrett and AJ every time.
Can we talk about what my guy Nick, producer Nick, is doing here? We got Jacob Johnson, Jacob Cowing, Jacob Harris, Jacob Doligala, Jacob Copeland, Jacob Eason. What a tribute.
Oh, Jacob Eason. That's a former Indianapolis Colt draft pick right there.
Also a Washington guy.
Yeah, UW guy, Georgia guy.
I remember because I think he's from one of my buddies. Like when we first got in our dynasty league in like 2015, he sent me like a link to Jacob Eason's like high school prep, and he's like, "This kid's gonna be the truth." And I've always had that name in my head. Anyways, you're on the clock. Do you want to get Dak at 117?
Oh baby, the room. We pushed it, and the room gave it to us. Let's do it.
I literally wrote a thread today.
Yeah, here we go.
Look at this guy getting the double stack on the cheap.
It's
well
over
played.
It's never been more over for these people.
Wow. Masterclass right here. All right, what do we got? Unwrestlettable. Jacob must profess his love for tarts in a short song or poem or draft a baker.
All right. When I bite into that tart, I think about the words I can utter to describe my love for that tart of butter, that crumbly crust. It's not just lust. I say that tart makes me love it.
Incredible. Bravo. My God. You have me wanting a butter tart after that. Let the people know who aren't aware of what butter tarts are. What is the magic of them?
So I mean, you might want to pull one up here on the screen share, but they're majestic. It's basically all you do is you have like a tart, which is normal, crust. And then it's just like sugar and butter that's like melted up on high, and then it creates kind of a crusty filling. And sometimes you can put walnuts in there. You can put raisins in there if you want. You can do something really crazy. I think Americans just call them pecan tarts sometimes when they put pecans in there. I think it's basically the same thing. But it's just, it's basically just like heated up butter and sugar inside a beautiful, delectable mini little pie crust. And it's like crusty up over the top. And then when you bite in, it just oozes this sweet, succulent, syrupy, sugary mix. And it's just, it's hard to beat, man. You can't beat a butter tart.
All come with a little Canadian flag in them like Google Images would indicate?
I'm pretty sure this is a psyop. I feel like you put that image there before the show.
Every single one I click. I'm telling you, they all.
Did you Google butter tart Canada? What is this?
No, look at my search. Oh, you can't even see my search. I promise you. Let me
just
zoom in and
butter tart.
Look at this.
Oh my God! And the next thing is Canadian, and they come with little flags. Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
that is wild.
Have had a preference for clicking the ones that had the little Canadian flag.
I can see that.
You're on the clock. Who do you want?
Oh no! Spears. Oh man, you're so nimble.
We're back.
Look at that.
That's how you do it. Whew. Tajay Spears at 124. Do you want to give a little ahoo to the crowd there? I mean, dude, look at this draft. Dak Prescott, pick 117, some 20 picks. Jalen Warren, 10 picks after ADP. Tajay Spears, 12 picks past ADP, Jacob.
Man, that's the good stuff right there.
Man, you are firing tonight. I mean, if it weren't for the Luke Schoonmaker, incredible.
I wish this was a Best Ball Mania team.
I mean, Luke Schoonmaker would be pretty unique. The combinatorial ownerships on Luke Schoonmaker, pretty unique.
Look at that.
How many Best Ball Mania teams have you drafted so far?
Not enough, my guy. You've tweeted out you've already done 50. I'm not even close. I'm lagging. I'm at 28. I gotta pick up the pace here big time.
Well, are you like when the Poodle 4 drops, are you like maxing that with slows? Like how are you approaching the tertiary contests?
Yeah, that's been a little less so. So I'll max BBM. It just might take a while at the end there to do it. Every time we get a puppy, I put either 25 or 50 in those. So I did that in the first one in the Superflex. I do some of the Poodles, but like there's the level of time that I can devote to best ball drafting while trying to maintain a legal career and a social life. It is finite at some point. And usually the Poodles are the first ones to the pound in respect of the of that delicate balance.
What you're saying is you're not as broken as Pat Crane, who's a multimillionaire and a new father who still feels compelled to slow max the mini Schnauzer 4.
Dude, like I've met Pat in person and he seems like a normal guy. I have no idea how how like millionaire Pat Crane is finding it in his heart to go 150 max like a $5 puppy. Like that is wild. But man, that's why he wins, man. Like I'm not as committed to the grind as Pat. That's crazy.
I'm about to tell him to shut the fuck up. It's like if you want to tell me what's happening in your like big dog slow draft, like I'm all ears. Don't tell me what's going on in your fucking mini Schnauzer slow draft, Pat. I'm just so sick of it.
I have no idea how he does it. Like I hate slow drafts with a passion. I do mostly slow draft the puppies, mostly because like my brain just cannot take an odd number of completed drafts. So like I will only do contests either like if it's single entry or if it's max. Like I'll only ever draft like 10, 25, 50 or max.
Yes.
I'm not going to do like 18 or whatever. So like I don't have a choice but to slow draft the puppies because they go so fast that if I just fast draft them and hope to land on a round number, like one day I wake up and it's full. So I have to slow draft them.
I'm with you on that. I did 10 Poodles for that same reason. I needed the even. All right. Pop the question part 2. Get down on
part 1.
Yeah, I'm going to show part 1 to the audience before you do this here.
Right.
So I tweeted this out. There's a photo, and this comes from. So was the audition tape to get you on the show? Liam Murphy is live. I'm not joining that. Was the audition tape for the show you ended up getting on? Okay.
That's correct. Yeah, believe it or not, they accepted that audition tape.
So what was this? Because right now I see on the wheel, pop the question, you're down on one knee. What is this?
This was, so the whole show was based on Gardner's theory of multiple intelligence. So they had these tasks and it was based off of like, it was, oh my god, it was based on like they had like analytical intelligence, they had like literary or whatever, visual. So you had to do all these different contests, and this one was a combination of linguistic and emotional. And so they gave us a wheel that you'd spin, and it would tell you what kind of speech you had to do. Mine was pop the question, and then they gave you a bunch of words that you had to use, and you had 90 seconds to give that speech. So I had to give a proposal speech using as many of the words I could find on the screen, and then you were graded for how many words you used in the emotional impact.
All right. Well, it's now time for you to get down on one knee and propose 100% exposure to Brock Bowers.
Okay. For the record, I am on one knee, people. There we go.
Nice little crotch shot of Jakob Sanderson there for the people.
Dear Brock, you were a selection of my heart in my first ever Campus to Canton draft. And what I especially love about this bond is that unlike any woman that I've ever dated, I can openly admit that I do Campus to Canton drafts. When you first leapt into my heart as a true freshman, scoring end-around touchdowns for 80 yards, I knew that you were the one. One PPR full tight end premium on Fantrax college fantasy settings. And then when you came to the NFL, I was fearful because I thought, you know, Brock, you might have loved me when I was young. You were in college, but now you'll be everyone's favorite. Everyone will be after you. But then you were rated, and all of a sudden people had concerns. They said, oh, have you been seeing who Brock's hanging around with? A lot of target competition. But you've always been my one, and I'll never leave you. 100% exposure to you, Sir Bowers. Who do we got here?
I accept your proposal. Unfortunately, Bowers is off the board. Who do you want?
That's too bad. Let's see. Ford, I guess.
Fuck, I didn't get it. You just got Khalil Shakur.
Tough scene. All right. Fair enough.
That's tough. I mean, I was so caught up in the proposal. I was ready to accept, and unfortunately, Khalil Shakur got auto drafted there. And
I mean, fair enough. My highest rated running back was Zeke, and I had to think about how I was going to navigate that situation because I didn't want to come on the randomizer to draft Zeke. So I took a little pause before settling on Ford.
Yes. I will say you did get Khalil Shakur at pick 141. That's a pretty palatable price.
Accidental.
Hey, you don't tell the people that it's accidental. It's just intentional. Hey, yeah, we got to spin. All right, here we go. Jakob Sanderson crushing the randomizer tonight. Everything we're throwing out at him. And now we have a prompt called the ground campaign. Jakob has been canvassing the neighborhood in support of Run the Damn Ball, a ballot initiative intended to beat modern defensive concepts. He gives his door-to-door sales pitch for why his neighbors should vote yes or drafts a wide receiver 20 picks past ADP. Jakob, why should I be running the damn ball?
Hi there.
Yeah, what's going on?
Hi there. This is Jakob. I'm coming here to talk to you today from Run the Damn Ball. And have you been watching football recently and thought, like, man, all these guys do is just drop back to throw and throw and throw and throw? Have you ever felt that analytics are ruining the game that we love?
Yeah.
Well, here's what I'm going to talk to you about. I've started a new initiative called Run the Damn Ball. And what we do is we simply supercharge every team with 4 to 5 running back packages, okay? We tell those little wide receiver bitches to go sit over on the sideline, and we hand it off. We hand it off left. We hand it off right. We hand it off center. We do end arounds. It's a dynamic, movement-based offense, and we're going to pummel those guys. Because here's the thing. These linebackers, they're not ready for us. They're a bunch of 215-pound twigs out here trying to cover in space. They have no idea how to handle 242 pounds of Braylon Allen coming right at you. That's what Run the Damn Ball is all about. We hope you can sign our petition to end this wide receiver brigade today.
You know what? A message has never resonated with me so much as the one that you just gave me. I've always thought those wide receivers are little bitches. Where do I sign? Where do I sign?
Hey, let's draft ourselves a running back. Let's draft ourselves Nick Chubb. We got to draft Nick Chubb.
Run the damn ball.
Have you heard, Pete? He is the best pure rusher in the league.
I mean, this is the best ball impersonation. I fucking hate Nick Chubb at 130, but he's a smash at 148. I love it. Here's the team so far. We got a 1-3-6-3 build brewing. We got a Dak Prescott double stack with Jake Ferguson and Luke Schoonmaker. We have 3 running backs: Jalen Warren, Tajay Spears, Nick Chubb. Very nice there. Justin Jefferson, Nico Collins, Malik Neighbors, Ladd McConkey, A.D. Mitchell, and Khalil Shakur. I think this team kind of fucks, Jakob.
I think we can compete. I think we might be splitting 26 and 80 in dollars.
Yeah, you will have to send me a Venmo, or I'm going to send you a Venmo request for 150.
We don't have Venmo in Canada.
You don't have Venmo in Canada? You guys got fucking butter tarts, but not Venmo?
We can PayPal.
Wow, that's incredible. Note to self: never get Jakob on the payroll if I can't send him a Venmo. Man, I learned something new every day. Jay, I do feel like you have such a diverse background. I mean, when you were on Best Ball After Dark, we were talking about all the music you were into. Remind me, was your dad a journalist, right?
Yeah. My dad's a writer. Yeah. All sorts of different human interest stories, but super, super into music. Like, that's where I got a lot of it. I mean, records all over the wall. He did kind of the same, maybe not as weird, but somewhat similar thing to me with all the sports, where like he had his own make-believe radio station and he would write his top 100 songs of every year in this still perfectly preserved book. So if you go to our place in Winnipeg, you can check out from like 1969, perfectly preserved QZKOP's top 100 songs of 1969.
Dude, every year since it was funny because it was my friend. I told you about my lawyer friend
Mm-hmm.
who's a creative, and he's been doing music lists forever, and I started doing it with him in 2006. And so I've done my top albums and top songs of the year every year since 2006. And I know you can appreciate this on multiple fronts, but it's like,
For sure.
once you start doing that, like, you cannot imagine living in a world where you don't, even in years where I'm not like as plugged into music. It's like, I'm making my fucking list, man. Like, I have to make this every year. Your fact that your dad's been doing that since, you said 1969,
Something like that. Yeah. That's
insane.
totally around there.
Yeah.
Ben said everyone has so much to do. We just make up shit.
Oh my
It's
god.
not wrong.
Yeah, pay him in cat. You know what? My guy Sal Stefanile, who has been doing some work for me, and I did have to send him a PayPal, and I got the price, and it's like doing the conversion and all that. I was like, God damn it, you Canadians.
He'll also be at the SFB Vancouver. It'll be a whole party.
Ooh. Should I fly up there and crash it?
That'd be great. That'd be fun.
Hang on. This is gonna pull up a prompt we already did that I forgot to remove. I'm not gonna make you draw again. I can't have you drawing like.
I can't be drawing more accidental penises. That was too much.
All right, here we go. Thinking about Google Maps without naming the player, city, team, Jakob has to dox the player in his description of him by talking about the area around the stadium. If Pete gets it, take that player. If not, draft Chuba Hubbard or Josh Palmer.
I gotta say, like, how down bad is Chase Claypool that people are now naming like default Canadian players and he's not even making the list? Like, that's tough. Like, he's been bypassed by Chuba and Palmer.
It's tough, but Nick took Chase Claypool at 7 and Chuba at 31 and Palmer at 18. So, you know, they're living large.
He's running down the list of Canadian players.
Okay.
All right.
So you want me to go to the queue? What position do you want me to look at, or you just want me to scroll?
All right. Let's do the running back position. Let's keep it at the running back position here. All right. So I'm supposed to do what? Describe their stadium?
Let's see. Without naming the player, city, team, Jakob has to dox the player in his description of him by talking about the area around the stadium. Can you draw from any personal experiences?
Okay. All right. Picture yourself right near a harbor, right? Mm-hmm. Perhaps at one point, go back in time, hundreds of years back in time. We're picturing a ship, right? We're picturing a ship coming in.
People are not realizing that stadium is at Foxborough, which is like 20 miles from the Boston Harbor. Yeah,
that's absolutely correct. And, yeah.
I'm just not. I live like 10 minutes from Foxborough, and I love you painting the picture of the Boston Harbor. Everyone thought it was Baltimore, and I knew right away.
Oh, I hadn't gotten to the T yet. We were about to get to the T.
You were going. I didn't think you were going to the fucking tea party. Of course, I knew you were going to the tea party.
Oh man,
you would have really have gotten historical points if you went with the great North End molasses disaster, but the tea party will do here. All right, you got that pick. We got to spin again.
North End molasses disaster. That's gonna be a whole Wikipedia deep dive for me tonight.
Do that one. That one's a fun one. It's wild.
The Great Molasses Flood occurred Wednesday, January 15th, 1919. Wow, 2.3 million U.S. gallons of molasses.
I'm telling you, it's a fun Wikipedia read. Hey, college, name 7 of the 10 D1 football conferences before the next pick, or select a JUCO player.
Okay. SEC, Big 12, Big 10, ACC, Big East. No, that's not a thing anymore. American Athletic Conference. Is the Mountain West still a thing? I think you might have to look this up.
Yeah.
Okay. We've got Conference USA still around. Sun Belt, is that still around?
Sun Belt, yes.
Okay, that's got to be 7, isn't it? We've got.
Yeah, you're already at to 7. Yeah, you did that. All right. Let's see here. Man, you were enough of a sicko that you already had.
Oh, the Mid-American. That's the one we missed. The Mid-American, the MAC.
It is, yeah, Mountain West. What was the one? The Continental, is that gone?
The well, the Pac-12 is gone. Shout out Gretch. At least in football next year.
What the fuck is the SWAC?
Oh, these are basketball conferences. The SWAC, that's like, like Stephen F. Austin.
But it says college
tournament.
football. It says college football conferences.
Oh, well, that's Division 1 AA, I guess. So that's got to be like.
Oh, gotcha.
That's where we're getting a little lower. Yeah. The SWAC usually comes a little bit more into play in March Madness. Like we always get Stephen F. Austin coming as a 12 seed or a 13 seed. I think they might be a SWAC school. Oh, I'm seeing SWAC is free. So is that like Grambling and Southern? Is that the SWAC in football?
Let's see here. We're about to pick too. Let me just, before we get, all swacked out here. Here we go. So we got Florida A&M, Alabama State, Jackson State, Alabama A&M.
Oh, yeah.
Never heard this name in my life. Bethune-Cookman. Have you ever heard that name?
I've never heard of
Mississippi,
Bethune-Cookman.
Prairie View, Alcorn State, Southern Grambling, Texas. Dude, this is the beauty of March Madness, because like next year it'll be like the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats or the 16 seed, and I'll be like, let's fucking go. All right.
That's sweet.
You're about to be on the clock. You are on the clock here. Do you want a second quarterback?
Do we got any stacking options here on our QBs? Anybody?
Let's see. You got
right.
JJ
I'm certainly
McCarthy,
not coming
Daniel
on here to draft
Jones.
Watson. All right, we can wait on quarterback then. We got late options. Let's do you know what? We went way down the conference rabbit hole. Let's do Jaleel McLaughlin because he played at a random ass school.
Really? Because someone just had a great tweet and an ADP chasing call that we should be drafting Audric Estime over him. Turning your back on him?
I'm into both a little bit. I think Jaleel is totally fine where he is. I think he might jump the shark. Like I think we might be looking at if we get to a point where we're looking at round 12, round 13 Jaleel off of that Sigmund Bloom tweet, then I'm gonna allow him to go into another harbor. Yeah, it was the Cecil Lammy Jaleel McLaughlin hype. So at that point, I'll let him sail to a different harbor, and I'll just start drafting Estime, which I'm already drafting Estime.
I'm familiar with the Big Sky Conference. I've never heard of SWAC.
The Big Sky Conference has not been good to my best ball portfolio over the years.
I love.
Hey, we don't have a little school called North Dakota State University.
I love that we got Nick here in the chat. Bethune-Cookman is a HBCU in Florida, was just there doing student outreach last month. This is the beauty of the eclectic randomizer audience.
Wow. I had no idea we were in the presence of Bethune-Cookman influencers.
So I know you're juggling a lot right now, Jakob. What are you thinking about structurally with this 1-5-6-3 build as we head into the final 3 picks?
So I think I'm going to go out on a limb and say we're good at tight end. I think we could use one more running back, probably one more receiver, and then I'd say, then we go. Is that it? Is that all we got room for?
Well, you got 3. What I like to say,
one quarterback, one running back, one receiver, I think is the goal here.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would say, I hate to say it, but because of how much value you got, I think you got a luxury pick in here, Jakob. I hate to say it. I think you got a luxury pick, but if this is from a team that's already selected Luke Schoonmaker, you still got a luxury pick.
Oh man, that's because we got that value hound on Khalil Shakir.
Oh my God! Note to self: stop saying luxury pick. All right, here we go. Round 16. Soft shoes and hard balls. Jakob uses his first-rate song and dance skills to push cold ones at his part-time hustle as a Winnipeg Golden Eyes baseball concession agent. Jakob must sing a song that gets people screaming for the beer man in the stands or draft a cold one with less than 100 projected season points. Before you launch into this, let people know the backstory to this.
All right. So my job from age 18 to about 22 was I started at the Gold Eyes games, and then I started doing Jets games as well, and go up and down the stands and, get your ice cold beer here. That guy. And it was honestly the most fun job. I don't know that I sang a lot of songs doing it, so this is going to be a new wrinkle, but we'll do what we can.
Incredible. All right, let's see here. I am now going to get you full screen here. So it's Jakob must sing a song that gets people screaming for the beer man in the stands. I have an unopened beer here too that I'm going to imagine you were trying to sell me on purchasing, Jakob.
All right. Okay. When you're in the 16th round, don't you need a beer to suck on down? It's hot all summer in the basketball streets. You need some beer beside your meat. Take one down and pass it around. 16 drafts of beer on the wall.
One Modelo. Hey, one Modelo.
That was a good. Hey, that was a good Gretsch.
Yeah, I did pretended like April's holding up to throw me a beer.
That'd be a little concerning if she was, I think, at this age.
Did you? Because I've been to Fenway Park, and one of the things, the peanut slingers are known for is their accuracy for being able to go just cross section. Yeah. Did you have any party tricks like that?
I wasn't a big tosser with the beer. I mean, yeah, I would generally, I had a few pun go-tos that I would say. The one thing that always got anyone over the age of 50 that I always loved, whenever I would pop open a can of Stella, I had a little big bottle opener here, and then I would just crack a. Well, actually, sorry, it would come in a bottle. No, come in a can. I had a bottle opener to do I don't know why I had it.
Well, because you're not allowed to give people, and they probably don't want your hands germs on it, whatever.
Okay, so we'd crack open the Stella, right, and then the commercial. So I'd always take my bottle opener to just and I just do one of these, she's a thing of beauty. People always really enjoyed that.
You're a showman, Jakob. You're a showman at heart.
That was a good
We're
move.
On the clock. You get to pick whoever you want. Adam Thielen, I'm sure, feels like your personal.
Oh,
friend.
yeah.
You want a quarterback?
All right, we can do one more receiver here, I think.
Quick.
Okay, Franklin. All right, there we go. Very nimble.
Man, that was
Very
close. Jakob running me through the ringer tonight. Whew. All right, we got to spin. No more time to fuck around, beer man.
2 more rounds? All right, let's see what you got for us, Wheel.
Uh-oh, we're going to lawyer up again.
Lawyer up? Okay.
Lawyer up.
Lawyer questions here.
Jakob gives an impassioned speech about a CFL rule that that should be adopted by the NFL in the style of a closing argument scene from Law & Order or similar if he cannot draft a player with an arrest record.
I know a certain quarterback is at the top of the queue, so it's high stakes.
All right, what does the CFL need to, or what does the NFL need to learn from the CFL here?
All right. Famously made famous on the ship chasing Shipcast last year, the NFL absolutely must adopt the onside punt. Okay, here's why you want to have the onside punt in your lives. When it's 3rd and 20, and you picture yourself in the mind of a Ron Stewart, and he's watching Zach Wilson drop back on 3rd and 20. You know what would give him a little bit more hope? What if instead of throwing the ball at Zach Wilson's arm, we just say, hey, you guys stand behind me here. I'm going to kick this thing a little bit forward, and you go get it yourself, right? Here's how it works with the onside punt. As long as you're behind the ball and you kick it, you can recover your own and get a brand new, fresh set of downs. I know people in this chat might have some things that they wish they could take back in their lives. Maybe, right? You want to take back that beer you drank. You want to take back that time you ordered too much DoorDash. You want to take back the first 3 downs. You just give a little onside punt, fall on that ball, and bang, you are guaranteed a fresh new set of downs and a fresh new lease on life. I bet some of our guys with arrest records wish they could maybe, do a little onside punt on some of their past activities. NFL has got to be into fresh starts. They've got to adopt the onside punt.
What was the one we pulled up on ship chasing that one time?
It was this one? This is the one, I think. This is probably the one. No, I don't think it was this one. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Fresh set of downs.
How is that allowed? How is this allowed? Watch this play. What the fuck are we doing here?
We just got to put it before the line of scrimmage.
It's his running back.
We just got to get it before the line of scrimmage, and then bang.
That's the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Oh, my God. I will allow it, though. I'm fully convinced that the NFL needs this. Who do you want? You got 2 more picks and 1 quarterback. I'm getting worried about your quarterback situation.
All right, let's do Will Levis. Let's do Will Levis here.
Stacked with anyone?
Spears. You got Spears?
Okay. All right. I guess this team has to get Traylon Burks now to make sense. All right. Dak Prescott and Will Levis. Hey, do you want to give out a mild ooh for Will Levis at pick 196?
Oh, woo!
I haven't seen Jeff in the chat. He just comes in, fuck that shit. Like, just super pissed off.
How do you think we would score that for fantasy? Do you get like 2 points for an onside punt recovery?
I get about it's like, imagine how much Americans get pissed off about just kickers. Imagine if that shit was in the game. Imagine if that's Jalen Warren who catches that on the flat and then they like take the points away because he did a little 1-inch kick. Pat would just be
Oh my God, I just lost my PPR point.
Pat's like flipping over diaper tables in his San Diego mansion.
My super puppies.
My goodness. This is a question for Jacob. Can you have 2 onside punts in the same play?
I think theoretically you probably no, you couldn't, because there'd be no ability to be on side because you would lose the line of scrimmage after the first punt. So max 1 per play.
Look at this guy. I mean, this is
Have you ever seen anything more alpha in your life? I mean, it doesn't get more alpha than that.
The slow motion really sells it for me. Watch this. This man had to practice this. This is the sport you love, Jacob.
Have you ever pulled up? You should pull this up. This is a bonus entry. Is the Rouge. Look up Alouettes, Argonauts.
I think this is the one we did.
Kick battle.
Kick what?
Just put up kick battle. I think that should make it come up.
Kickoff?
Kickoff, that should work. It'll be I don't know if I see it. Maybe just put no, it won't be that. That's another onside punt.
That's what we watched.
That's the one you watch. But the better one, okay, look up Alouettes, Argonauts, end of game. Let's see. I'll do some work on my end here. Argos, Alouettes, end of game kicks. Yeah, here we go. It's Montreal, Toronto, wild ending, October 2010. That one, the second one down. Yeah. Watch this. So in the CFL, I'll have to preface this. The CFL, you have a Rouge, which is if you, on a field goal or a punt, you kick it into the end zone, but not through the uprights, you get 1 point if it doesn't get returned out of the end zone. So the Alouettes are about to go for a game-winning field goal here, but they also know that as long as the Argonauts can't return it out of the end zone, even if they miss, they could win with a single point. So what the Argonauts do is they put their kicker in as the kick returner so that he can kick it out of the end zone, just in case they miss. So that's how we're setting the stage. So this is Damon Duval, kicker for the Montreal Alouettes. He's going to attempt a game-winning 35-yard field goal, and it's going to be wide to the right. But it almost goes out of the end zone, so he's got to get this out. And he does get it out. So now what do they got to do? They got to kick it back in. And now we got to try and kick it back out. And we're unsuccessful, and the Montreal Alouettes have won the game.
This is just absurd.
That is football.
And this coach is pissed. He's like, no, we're the last ones who get to kick it. I need to see the replay. So he pushes the field goal.
Pushes it. But if he just lets it go out, they win by 1.
What were these guys doing back here? Watch this. I'm going slow motion on this. I'm changing the playback speed to 0.25. What were these guys doing back in the end? Are they trying to keep it in the field of play?
Yeah, if this goes through the end zone, Montreal wins. So they've got to keep it out. Yeah, they have to keep it out, because if it goes through into the via rail signs there, then Montreal wins. They have to keep it in the end zone so they can kick it out. Otherwise, it's a Rouge.
Why are they colliding?
They were just making a winning play. That's all. And I don't know. Some people in the chat noticed that if anyone didn't notice, the Montreal coach in this video is Mark Trestman, by the way, former Bears coach.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so there you go. Now this guy's going to kick it out. The problem was, so see that number 7? That guy's their actual kicker. So the guy who knocked him over is not their kicker. They would have been able to tie this if Prefontaine kicks this out. But he knocks over his kicker, so then this other goof has to kick it. Yeah.
Did you just make like an obscure Oregon track reference with Prefontaine, or is that actually his name?
No, that's his name, Noel Prefontaine.
Okay.
Yeah. I watched this game live. This was great.
Okay. There's a famous cross country Oregon Ducks athlete named Prefontaine. There's a
really?
great documentary about him. Anyways,
We need a fucking prompt, and we're on the clock.
well, that was the prompt, I think.
Oh, it was.
Yeah,
Okay.
I believe.
All right, sweet. I think that was our last prompt.
Yeah, you're on the clock here.
Okay, well, let's do let's get our last running back here. I guess it's the last pick.
Yeah.
All right, let's do is Estime there? No?
He is. You little
Oh,
handcuffing.
let's take him. There we go. It's a correlated bet on a direction of a backfield.
I mean, Jaleel McLaughlin, Audric Estime, Jake Ferguson, Luke Schoonmaker. I mean, a wise man once said, you know, when you take Kate Otten, you now only have 17 upside bets to make. So, I mean, this guy just devoted 4 of his roster spots to backup running backs and tight ends on the Cowboys and Broncos.
Nick is right. He said that was the round 17 prompt, but he didn't see anything if we go prompt.
All right, then we're doing a bonus prompt here.
One final prompt.
You're getting a final. This is unprecedented in randomizer history because I was just kind of hypnotized by the CFL here. What do we got to wrap us up? All right, Van Tour. You know what? Hang on. I'm overruling. This is hilarious because it's more of a quiz question, but I don't think it fits for when there's not a pick to be made. Some of these might here. This one, I think I already had. You guys are going to really have to deal with me. We already did that one. I forgot to remove it. We will get to something Jakob has to do to close this show. I trust you. Yes, I'm excited about this one. All right. Hipster or the real deal? Get a record spinning before the next pick that we can hear, or take Paris Campbell. Can you get us a record playing here? All right. Jakob has a nice record collection over here. We're going to see how big of a hipster he really is. Look at this.
Okay.
Oh, he's bringing the record player over.
Record player out. So let's get this a little bit closer.
I love this.
I don't have the extension cord is the only issue, but let's see if maybe we can. Is it going to reach? Okay, not quite. It's not quite, but maybe we'll be able to picture this.
I think we'll be able to hear it. Can't wait to see what kind of music Eric's going to dial up to us here. We got bets being made in the chat. What do you guys think Eric's going to play, or Jakob's going to play here? We got DJ Jakob Sanderson on the 1s and 2s. Chat's getting ready for a concert. The other night on Best Ball After Dark, Dwayne busted out his guitar, did some Bruce Springsteen for us. Getting lots of summer concerts. The summer concert series here on the Pete Overzet YouTube channel. I doubt that Jakob has O Canada on vinyl. Actually, I take that back. I assume Jakob does have a little Sufjan Stevens.
Having some audio issues, unfortunately. Let's see.
No, it's all right. I can vamp here for sure.
Oh, you know what's happening is I think you're coming out of the speaker.
Oh, okay.
Oh, geez. Now what's happening?
You got to vote.
One second.
I think,
that's going on. It's that freaking.
Guys, this is how show business, this is how indie rock works. Normally, these guys get to the venue hour before, they do a sound check. We didn't get to do a sound check before the show here.
All right.
Canadian.
We're gonna be ready to rock. 1 second, I promise this. Okay.
No, we got all the time in the world. I kind of like that painting there. Are those various animal like mosaics? I see a buffalo, a bear, a turtle. Ooh, I hear some music.
All right, we are rolling here.
I hear it. It's like clipping a little for me, and I really want to be able to guess what we're listening to.
All right, can you still hear me here? What's the deal?
I can hear you.
The
I can
crossplay
barely
between devices has become quite a situation.
I can hear you. I could barely hear the music. It sounded like
let's change this. Okay, here we go. This might
was
help.
it the it sounded like kind of like the Clash to me, but Talking Heads. There you go. Nice. Good job, chat. Talking Heads. The chat has got it. How many records do you have, Jakob?
40, I believe.
Okay. All right. Cut the music. It's time to land the plane.
All right.
Not drop the baby. Jakob, we're going to recap this team here. I want to get your final thoughts. You crushed the randomizer. Shout out to Sal. Sal actually made this Photoshop, by the way, a little Nickelback Jakob on the Canadian game show overlap here. Here's the final team. Dak Prescott and Will Levis at quarterback. Pretty cromulent allocation of quarterback draft capital. We got a 0 RB room here. The first pick, not until pick 100. Jalen Warren, Tajay Spears, Nick Chubb, Antonio Gibson, Jaleel McLaughlin, Audric Estime. Honestly, kind of fine for a 0 running back room. Wide receivers, Justin Jefferson, Nico Collins, and then a trio of rookies, Malik Neighbors, Lad McConkey, A.D. Mitchell, Khalil Shakur, an accident, but what a value. Troy Franklin there. And then a 3 tight end room, Luke Schoonmaker, Mark Andrews, and Jake Ferguson. What are your thoughts on this overall team here?
Yeah, I mean, the key is it's all about correlated directional bets on offensive environments. So, you know, why do we like Jake Ferguson? Routes. How do we make sure we secure those routes? Schoonmaker, right? It's about building on something, and then you just keep building. So you pair up the 2 same team running backs with the 2 same team tight ends. That's how you secure your floor, your foundation upon which you build a skyscraper. And that's what we were able to do with guys like Khalil Shakir, you know, target dominant players that we definitely drafted on purpose. And that's how you build a randomizing winning team.
Incredible stuff. Yeah, I mean, and like I said, the Schoonmaker pick, you know, I always like to review draft boards. I know it was a controversial pick. Had you won over the jury there, you know, with a unanimous decision, who would you have gone with at pick 45?
Ooh, that's a good question. Probably I go Andrews there to secure the tight end. And then when we come back, we probably go with a little Christian Kirk action. I think that's probably the move. Even
with Jacob Johnson still on the board?
Even with Jacob Johnson still on the board. But it was a tough call.
Shout out to Nick. We had KZ go full high T, went 5 running backs, then 2 tight ends there before taking his first wide receiver here. Incredible stuff all around. Jakob, you were an incredible randomizer guest. You tackled everything we threw at you: song, dance, improvisational, courtroom drama. Incredible stuff, man. Let the people know, where can they check you out if they want to see more of your stuff other than your wildly popular YouTube channel.
That was an absolute blast. Much thanks for having me on. You can find all of my non-licky boom boom down related work at Thinking About Thinking. I have an article out there from this Monday where I talked about what if he's not the guy you need, and it was basically a case for some discerning player takes. And I went through for that to get all the data of spike weeks from past Best Ball Mania playoff weeks and looked at how often those relate to players that were really winning players all season long and how that can inform how we draft. So that's the big piece out there now. I have best ball rankings there that I update all the time. I have dynasty rankings there that I update all the time. For sure. We're going to be, I think I'll be launching Potentially, I can announce that we'll be launching a Discord option within this too in the coming weeks. When I get a couple weeks off work, I'm going to get that sorted out. We'll have a few fun things added in, and of course, more content coming through.
Yeah, I know that this show is all about the song and the dance and the lulls and the goofs, but Jakob is one of the best writers in the fantasy space. Love reading everything he writes. So make sure you guys get subscribed to Thinking About Thinking. And yeah, if this is your first introduction to Jakob, make sure you guys follow him on Twitter. He was also on ADP Chasing this week. Very fun episode too. Going through some debates too. I know like there's a lot of hive mind and groupthink in our corner of the internet. There were some very fun debates on that episode of ADP Chasing. Appreciate you guys all hanging out. Like I mentioned on Ship Chasing, I'm going to do a Best Ball After Dark with Denny Carter tomorrow night. We're going to throw back some beers, shoot the shit, talk about his giant deck in the Washington, D.C. metro area.
I've heard he's got a new grill. Can you report whether or not that's true?
I hadn't heard this.
I'm hearing rumors of a new and potentially small grill.
A small grill on a big deck. I will definitely ask this question right off the rip tomorrow. Thank you guys for hanging out in the chat tomorrow. Tonight. You guys are awesome. And actually, no show for me on the randomizer next week. I'm going to be traveling. April's first trip on a plane. We're going back to Colorado, going to see her grandparents. So no randomizer, but we will
make sure you get on the right flight. I've heard bad things.
Jakob, if I take my daughter on her first flight to the wrong location, it will be the end of me. I will not be making that mistake. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your weekend. I'll see you tomorrow on Best Ball After Dark. Thank you to Jakob. Thank you to Nick and the production team, all of the great prompts, all the great chats. We'll see you guys next time.